I'm Catherine Ross. I'm here live from the floor of the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, I think we sadly have to start the show today by talking about Kobe Bryant, who tragically died in a helicopter accident Sunday.
Look, I got to meet Kobe at the exchange, and he was as competitive about his finances as he was about the basketball. Those of us who are from Philadelphia always thought he was our own because he grew up with the Laura Murrian, but obviously as soon as he was able to, he got the hell out of town. Everybody loved Kobe. Well, so I said that, and then someone was saying, hey, remember there was an incident. I said, you know what, I'm not going there. I think that he was a remarkable person, and I was so glad I met him. His grandfather was my bus driver in Springfield for our sports games, and we were like, wow, because his father was a great basketball player. Nowhere near where he is. But my condolences go out to his family. What a good guy.
I agree with you. Now let's talk about his legacy off the court.
I got to see him play.
He was amazing to watch.
Yes, yeah. No, he was incredible. Off the court, he was known as being someone who was an educator, trying to get kids to know about finance. He was investing in a lot of companies. He was very cagey to me about investing in gambling. I have to believe that was something he had going on. I'm sure he had a lot of things going on because he was such a competitive guy.
Jim, right now we're down about 391 points on the Dow at 10:01 a.m.
Well, already we're separating, which is interesting. We're separating the ones the Proctors and the Walmarts from the ones that are really at the epicenter. The epicenter ones are indeed travel. They're all, many of them are casino. And so far it's really been kind of according to those. And then, of course, Disney and oil stocks. And I just think that, look, I'm a big believer in taking risk, but I'm not a big believer in saying this is the bottom. So you can buy small already, but I think you have to stay away from the blast zone. You can get involved with companies that are not in the blast zone. I'll give you an example. Is J&J in the blast zone? No, absolutely not. Is Abbott in the blast zone? It's actually positive. They do some stuff in China. Is ABBVIE in the blast zone? No, ABBVIE's terrific because they have a cocktail that people think that may help because it helped for SARS. So, remember, put in perspective, 8,000 people have died from the flu so far this year. I did not get the vaccine this year because I know people who came down with the flu. I'm going to have to switch and get it. And one of the reasons you want to get it is because you want to be sure if you do get the flu after you've had the vaccine, then there's a chance that it might be this. Do I think it's going to sweep the country? I think that the Chinese have effectively given people given the scientists around the world all the data that they didn't give in SARS. So it's entirely possible that there are people right now working on it who are going to be successful.
Now, you mentioned ABBVIE, and I just want to point out to our viewers that the Chinese are currently using a mixture of ABBVIE drugs to try to treat the coronavirus.
HIV drugs.
So, Jim, is now a buying opportunity for ABBVIE?
Yes. The stock was down 1 3/4 last week. Some people think the quarter is going to be weak. I think that that's irrelevant. I'm the spokesman for the American Migraine Foundation, and migraine is being attacked aggressively by Allergan. Just approved $100 pill. I'll get mine today. Remember, I used to have 27 out of 30 days for migraine. Then I took the ABBVIE drug, and now I've been reduced dramatically. But I had a horrendous migraine on Saturday, which caused me to call my doctor and say, listen, I need the pill, even though it's $100 a day.
Now, our ABBVIE is our real money stock of the day, so head on over there for more coverage on ABBVIE. And it's one of Jim's 6 stocks to buy amidst the coronavirus fears. To read more about the 5 stocks, head over to read Jim's column. Jim, this is one of the busiest weeks for earnings season, and I want to take a step back. I want to look at this from an investor education angle. Is this week the time to become a stock picker?
No. I'll tell you why. This weekend, I probably read 10 conference calls. And I was acutely conscious of the fact that had I known about the conference calls, I might have been different oriented. So let's take a case of this. I read the Morgan Stanley conference call. I've been wanting to put that aside. Mr. Gorman, sorry I didn't do it earlier. And that company, I would have bought. I would have said buy Morgan Stanley. And to some people, I did say, listen, I think that this one is the cheapest because its multiple had stayed the same even though its earnings were up. And had I read the quarter, had I waited, I would have gotten a much better price. And that's because people really reevaluated the sector. JP Morgan's down gigantically from where it was, and that was a mistake that JP Morgan was not a buy. People thought it was a buy. So I want to be very careful, even after you read everything. Like I read Procter this weekend. I hadn't read Procter before. I read the schematic of it, but I hadn't read it. And Procter was really fabulous. I went back to look at Procter for the last 5 years. This was the best Procter quarter. So I think other people did that too, and they started buying it today. So you just got to be very careful that you don't get to do all the homework that you'd like. And the homework is what makes it so that you have confidence in your buys, particularly when you're trying to catch a bottom.
Jim, thank you so much for joining us today. We are now heading over to our Action Alerts Plus Daily Rundown show over on actionalertsplus.com. You're not going to want to miss this because not only is Jim going to give some sage advice to any investor worried about this market today, but we're also going to talk about a new initiation that the club just had this morning. So I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.